Everyone, and a very warm welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here today because we're tackling a topic that is literally everywhere right now. It's the kind of subject that might cause a tiny bit of anxiety, but I promise you, by the end of this, you're going to feel incredibly empowered. We're talking about the intersection of artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence. As machines take on more of our heavy lifting, both cognitively and physically, we're watching this massive structural transformation in the global labor market unfold. But here's the twist. Instead of humans becoming obsolete, something fascinating is happening. Our fundamental human qualities are actually becoming our most valuable assets. Okay, let's dive into this. According to a massive report by the McKinsey Global Institute, a whopping 57% of current US work hours are theoretically automatable with the tech we have right now. When you first hear that number, it sounds staggering, doesn't it? It kind of sounds like half our jobs are just going to vanish into thin air. But actually, scratch that, that's a total misconception. This data isn't some doomsday forecast of mass job loss. It's really about a profound reconfiguration of our daily tasks. It shows us exactly how the building blocks of our workflows are shifting. Which brings us to the giant elephant in the room. Will AI replace your emotional intelligence? As AI moves from just crunching boring numbers to generating totally human-like text, analyzing our sentiment, and even simulating conversation, it's pretty easy to wonder, what's left for us? If a machine can fire off a perfectly polite email or analyze a client's tone on a call, what exactly is our role? Well, we're going to unpack exactly why the human condition is the one thing silicon absolutely cannot replicate. To get there, we've got a clear roadmap. We'll start with the AI automation wave, then look at the empathy illusion. From there, we'll break down the emotional intelligence edge, explore the human premium, and finally, look at partnering with AI. So kicking things off with Section 1, the AI automation wave, and this idea of a new partnership. And the data brilliantly illustrates exactly what AI is realistically taking over. Look at the breakdown. 44% of tasks could be handled by software agents. That's the non-physical cognitive work. Then about 13% goes to robots handling the physical stuff. But a really solid 43% remains entirely human and non-automatable. So the future of work isn't about total replacement. It's this collaborative ecosystem where people, intelligent software agents, and robots are all working together, each bringing their own unique strengths to the table. Because of this emerging partnership, the demand for what we call AI fluency, which is basically your ability to use, manage, and collaborate with these AI tools, has grown sevenfold in just 2 years. 7 times. It is literally the fastest growing skill in job postings. And why? Because if organizations can successfully redesign their workflows around this human-machine collaboration, they're projected to unlock roughly $2.9 trillion in economic value by 2030 in the US alone. That's a massive number. But to pull that off, we need a workforce that actually knows how to guide the machine. Moving right along to Section 2, the empathy illusion. What happens when AI tries to feel? As these AI agents get smarter, developers are programming them to mimic human interaction. But there's a massive difference between simulating a feeling and actually experiencing it, right? There's this fascinating anecdote from Training Magazine that perfectly highlights this. Get this. Executives at a company actually used an AI tool to write a speech announcing upcoming layoffs. No way, right? Well, on the surface, the words were polished, considerate, technically empathetic, but the audience immediately sensed something was totally off. The tone was just strangely uniform. The result was fluency without authenticity. It was completely emotionally hollow. And research completely backs this up. When people sense that a message meant to convey care is actually generated by an algorithm, our trust just instantly plummets. We literally experience a kind of moral disgust. Now, this specific field of tech is called affective computing, or emotion AI, and it's a booming market. These systems use machine learning to analyze your facial expressions, interpret the pitch of your voice, or scan your text for sentiment. But we've really got to remember the definition here. It's recognizing, interpreting, and simulating. It is purely data-driven. The AI doesn't have a beating heart, it doesn't have a conscience, and it certainly doesn't have moral accountability. So the crucial point is, there is a fundamental difference between pattern recognition and genuine lived experience. Sure, an AI can read a pattern that suggests someone is angry, but it completely misses the profound nuances of human interaction. I'm talking about things like heavy sarcasm, deep cultural subtleties, or complex states like experiencing grief and relief at the exact same time. AI hasn't grown up, it hasn't struggled, and it hasn't lived. We humans prefer to connect with other humans because we share those exact biological and social constraints. That subjective experience is basically impossible to fake. Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, the emotional intelligence edge, and why it's our irreplaceable advantage. As all these routine cognitive tasks get offloaded to silicone, the human condition itself actually becomes your primary professional differentiator. It's a real game changer. We can look at this using psychologist Daniel Goleman's incredibly influential framework, which breaks emotional intelligence down into 4 main pillars. First up, self-awareness. This is recognizing your own biases and emotional triggers so you don't just blindly trust whatever an AI spits out. Second, self-management, adapting and staying super resilient during all these rapid tech shifts. Third, social awareness, reading the room and using deep empathy. And finally, relationship management, managing team conflicts, influencing others, and building genuine trust. These are complex, highly dynamic human skills that are entirely immune to automation. Now, what's really interesting here is how the economic data backs this up perfectly. When we look at the skill change index heading toward 2030, notice what's absolutely skyrocketing in demand. Resilience is up 67%. Leadership and social influence are up 61%. Meanwhile, purely physical or routine cognitive tasks like manual dexterity are actually declining. So what we used to dismissively call soft skills are now absolutely the hardest, most critical economic imperatives in the modern workplace. Let's transition into Section 4, the human premium, focusing on strategic oversight in an AI world. This is where we see exactly how all this emotional intelligence is practically applied. We're stepping into what's called the human-in-the-loop economy. Whether a human is actively approving every single AI decision, or maybe they're on the loop supervising the system, or fully in command setting the strategic vision, human EQ is mandatory across the board. Why? Well, because algorithms have major ethical blind spots. Think about it. If an AI flags a financial transaction as anomalous, it takes a human with cultural awareness and relationship management skills to figure out, wait, is this actual fraud or just a customer going through a really messy divorce? Humans provide that critical context that machines just completely lack. Furthermore, human oversight is literally the only way to manage trust, because trust in technology is highly asymmetric. It takes hundreds of successful interactions to build trust in an AI, but a single, unexplainable, high-stakes failure can destroy it instantly. It's a phenomenon known as the retrospective betrayal effect. When an AI inevitably makes a mistake and causes a massive trust rupture with a client or a team, the AI can't just apologize and fix it. Only a highly self-aware, emotionally intelligent human leader can step into that breach, communicate with genuine care, and rebuild that fractured relationship. All right, moving to our final section, Section 5, partnering with AI and the amazing transformation we're seeing. Let's move to and see how this builds. Because while human EQ catches AI mistakes, there's an incredible transformation happening where our emotional intelligence actually makes the AI inherently better at its job. It's a fascinating new field called emotion prompt engineering. Researchers have discovered that if you apply emotional, human cues to the text prompts you give to a large language model, the machine actually generates much better results. Adding phrases like, "This is very important to my career," or "Believe in your abilities and strive for excellence," totally changes how the model processes the request. It's wild. We are effectively using our own emotional intelligence and intrinsic motivation to guide the machine's logic. And the results are completely measurable. Studies show that using these emotional prompts increases AI performance, truthfulness, and responsibility metrics by an average of almost 11%. Nearly 11%, it's absolute proof that human EQ actually optimizes machine output. So the future isn't this scary battle of human versus machine. Not at all. The future belongs to the emotionally intelligent human who knows how to strategically partner with the machine, leveraging their empathy, their lived experience, and their leadership to drive some truly authentic, incredible results. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a really important question to reflect on. In an increasingly automated world, how will you leverage your irreplaceable humanity? Because your ability to connect, to empathize, and to lead with absolute authenticity, that is your ultimate premium. I really hope you found this breakdown as empowering as I did. And hey, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Please let us know where in the world you are watching from down in the comments, and be sure to comment yes if you want to see more content exactly like this. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.